Hello, everybody. This is Juan Carlos Rando. Thank you for having us today in the city of Atlanta. We're transmitting from Atlanta, Georgia, with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has been working on this field for over 45 years. And she has a lot of experience working in the immigration field. And that's the only thing that Ms. Wong does in the office, only immigration and criminal cases if or related to your immigration situation. So thank you so much for having us. A lot of attorneys have done many things, many stuff throughout their careers, but Ms. Wong has focused in immigration for over 45 years. And she says that she did some criminal cases or PI cases for some time, but let's let her tell us a little bit about that. How are you doing today, Ms. Wong?
I'm very good, and thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today, even though we are looking for a storm in the short future here, but it doesn't look too bad. So you're good.
Thank you.
You'll be good.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Wong, since you started uh, your career and your office back in 1977, did you ever think about quitting immigration?
Never, because in those days, immigration was never a very hot topic. It's just like criminal. In those cases, criminal is a little bit higher than immigration. It's not as glamorous, sexy. Now there's a lot of young kids who go to law school or go to paralegal school or go to college really for the service of immigration law or immigration practice. But in those days, immigration is like nothing because it's more for foreign people. It's also looked down on. Um, no, but somehow I survived. I used to do everything. I used to write a will, run to the airport when someone have to travel and help them do whatever they need me to do. So when I first started out, after passing the bar. So, but then through the years, by 78, 79, that's all I did. And reality is, as an Asian Chinese woman, be it whatever I was, it could be a CPA, it could be a lawyer, it could be a singer. It's in those days, it's very difficult to get good jobs, but I
But
survived.
so that's good, Ms. Wong. And I've seen some attorneys quitting the immigration field because they say it's too emotional.
Yes, it's sad. In the past, my own partner, that's been 21 years with Mrs. Scott Breton, is now becoming a judge. Richard Drucker, who has been doing immigration. I moved to Cleveland. I was living in New York and then Buffalo and Cleveland. I started actually immigration when I was in law school in 73, and then I did the bar and passed the bar in 76. So I've been doing immigration since really 73, helping people. Mr. Drucker, Judge Drucker now, lived in Cleveland, and he was a great immigration criminal lawyer since the 70s. So he's like us. He worked, but he does more criminal than immigration. So he became our friend, our associate, our partner in the past few years. He also quit and also became an immigration judge. So we have a lot of lawyers. I can name Mr. Jason. Um, is a pilot, loved immigration, came from Canada, and because of his own green card experience, I was his lawyer, so I recruited him to work with us. Same thing now. His daughter also became a pilot. That's only 17 years old. Became one of the youngest Ohio pilot to get a pilot license. Same with him. He did some immigration. He hated it. So now he's more into aviation and he's a professor. So a lot of us really sort of change. I don't know why I never changed. I guess I have, slowly we built a great law firm and I couldn't let my people down. I have been approached by other law firms, maybe to merge with them, to sell them or to buy them or something like that. I just didn't believe in all that because that's our calling, that's our work, and that's all I want to do.
And that's true. And well, why would people buy something that they didn't build? They
Yeah.
can build their own empire, let's say. But Ms. Wong, talking about this experience and this person that you just mentioned, I've heard in the last few days that Canada is needing a lot of professionals as well to do the immigration. I know we don't do Canadian immigration,
Hmm.
but as you know, and you're very close to Canada,
Hmm.
would you tell any kind of differences between
It's
living in
very
Canada
it's
and the
very
United
different. The
States?
tax rate is higher because I used to go to Canada 6 or 7 times a year, because Cleveland to Canada, it's only about maybe total 5 hours to Toronto. Cleveland to Buffalo Bridge, and I went to law school in Buffalo. It's only 2.5 hours. So once you go to Buffalo, you cross the bridge, you go to Toronto, it's about 5 hours, 4 hours, 45 minutes. It's a very easy ride. It's a beautiful ride. So, but Canada is very different. Just buying stuff in Toronto, the sales tax is like 12%. You stay in a hotel, sometimes the sales tax and stuff is like 24%. And also the exchange rate, because my husband, before he passed, he loves Chinese food. So he would buy condos up there. He's a funny man. He always wanted to just go to his own place. He would buy all these new furnitures. He's a pharmacist. So I'm pretty familiar. And also Canada is weird. So when he passed, we have to hire Canadian lawyers to, settle up his estate. It's just Canada. I much prefer America. Canada tax are very high. It's also very socialist. All health insurance is free, but if you want better health insurance, you can pay for it, and it's very expensive. And you have to wait for months. I mean, that's what I think. Because I have friends actually that comes to America and pay for like surgery because they just couldn't wait for that months. But the social system is very good. So if you retire at the age of 65, you get very good benefits. That's why the tax is high. It's also very easy. I shouldn't say very easy. It's a lot easier to do landed immigrant status, and their citizens only 3 years. They don't check the way Americans check with all the A files, and takes months to become a citizen. So, but overall, it's a simpler country. People also don't work as hard as in America, but American opportunities are very awesome. I mean, you're willing to work, you make good money, and tax rates, even though it's still high compared to Europe, compared to Canada, even compared to China, America is not that bad anymore.
Okay, and that's good. Um, And well, if you need more details, because it's not only Canada that are needing professionals to work up there, there's a shortage of professionals and workers in the United
Everywhere.
States as
Yes.
well. People don't want to work after the pandemic.
Hmm.
They
But Canada, the one thing nice about Canada, they're a lot more open to their system of immigration. Their investment in America, to get an EB-5 investment green card is 800,000. In Canada, it's like 350,000, 250,000 Canadian. And also, it's the same thing as 5 years, interest of maybe 7%, 5%. America interest rate is only about 3%. So the system is about the same. Once you became a Canadian citizen, you can come back to America with an e visa with TN, versus aside from Mexico, most Latino countries there's no TN visa. In fact, all of them have no TN. Mexico have it, and some of them have e-visa, but most of them don't. Most of them don't have ESTA, the way Canada you can just come in and out. Chile, Spain, you have 90-day visa. So it's a different system, but Canada certainly is in that, and also they're very open. They need professional people. It's very easy for professional people. If you have a degree, it's easier to get to Canada. In America, Biden also announced if you have a STEM, that means science degree, you can do O visa, you can do EB-11. But those are also more for people who have a master's degree, more people who have PhD. It's not like people just like us who have a bachelor's and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Thank you.
And don't forget that you can call for more information to the phone number 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. Are you ready for questions, Ms. Wong?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let's start. Komi Kayada says, hello. I am on asylum and my case is still pending. I didn't get an interview yet. So my question is, can I get liquor license in Illinois?
No, most liquor license, I don't know about Illinois, but at least in Ohio and most states, they want liquor license to be owned by American citizen or green card holder. But you need to, all you have to do is Google, can people with work permit get liquor license? The answer probably is no. But Illinois does allow people who have no papers to get driver's license. But don't worry about it. You can still own the business because you can form a corporation. You can own the business with stock sharing. It's like you can buy IBM stocks. You just cannot work there. But as far as the liquor license, have someone who have status to hold it and do a management agree with them agreement. But talk to a liquor license lawyer, because even though people are American citizens, some of them don't want the liability of holding a license. So your question is a very legitimate question, but I do recommend you talk to either immigration lawyer or a liquor license lawyer.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. The attorney Margaret W. Wong has offices in 9 cities of the United States: Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. The next question is, hi, Juan and Margaret. I hope you are doing okay. I'm a client and my parent petitioned for me August 2017. Would it be a good idea to pursue starting a course next year so that I am able to be in the right status to adjust when hopefully my date becomes current?
Yes. What you're asking about is your green card parents file for you. You're single, so you're either under 21, which is family 2A, or over 21, which is family 2B. For family 2A or 2B, because your parents are only green card holders, you could adjust. Oh, not even family 2B. Yes, family 2B, when quota open, you need a status. Family 2A, if you have a status now, you can adjust because family 2A, you're current. So to do that, it depends on what status you're now. And you, for example, you came to America as a tourist, absolutely change it to a student. So you have a status so you can adjust. So it depends. But if you already have no status, you would not be able to make yourself legal. So why waste, tuition money or legal money? So it depends on what status you are now. But if you have a status, definitely do a change of status, something, or even an extension of a tourist visa or student visa to make sure you are eligible to adjust.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so
Mhm.
much, Ms. Wong. So don't forget, if you need more information, just give us a call. You already are a client. You can call the office. The phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. And please make sure that if you make that call and you get to talk to one of the attorneys in the office, please make sure that you pay attention to them and try to follow their instructions as much as you can. It's not like you go to the doctor says you have to take this medicine at this time and this time, and then you do whatever you want. It's the same with the law. If the attorney says that you have to do some specific steps to get a relief or to get a result in the court or in whatever proceeding you are doing, just make sure that you follow their instructions, because otherwise you may be getting into trouble, and you don't want to get in trouble in the United States with the law or with the administration, because that could mean that you cannot remain anymore in the United States. That's why we have Ms. Wong, and she has over 45 years of experience, and the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. This one, we have a very sad question. So there was a Honduran lady that disappeared uh, about a month ago, and she disappeared in Alabama. So her body was found in the woods a few days later, and she had a couple children. So could these kids get a new visa because of the murder of their mom?
Yes. aside from U visa, see, that's the thing. I don't want people like us to keep thinking visa, visa. Of course, we need to worry about visa, but more than that, we need to think about compensation. Anytime you're dealing with victim of crime or in each state. I came from Ohio. That's my home. So Ohio, we have what we call the victim of crime statute. So, and they even pay the lawyers who help you file the paperwork, but mostly you don't need to file. It's a very simple form. You put out your name, your date of birth, attach the police record, and the relationship between you and the victim. They pay for all the funeral services. Of course, I mean, it's not, it's just actual cost. They also pay for something like um, something else. I don't know because I always tell people to do it themselves. Why hire a lawyer? Even though the state would pay us, but you don't really need a lawyer. They're very nice people. Aside from U visa, you could also look at different cases. You may be able to ask deferred action. Depends on how old the kids are. Is there a father? Because if there's no father, you may be able to do a dependency. There's a lot of things you can look at. And I would like to know why she was killed or murdered or fell down. Is it because of hate? Because FBI has a very, very great hate crime unit. Obama actually started it. And then when Trump came in, that unit is sort of, they're still there, but it was never very active. But now it's becoming active. Maybe talk, and I don't know how old the children are. You really need not just a lawyer, you need an advocate. And I believe in that. Now, as I get older, I really believe you need someone who believes in you, who wants to help you. It's not just, to do a dependency action, or file an asylum, file a U visa, or go get a work permit, or go get a. You need someone to really think outside the box and think, what would benefit these kids if they're young, who could take care of them? Should we put them on foster care? You need someone to even call the foster people to make sure these people and don't split up the kids because I have some foster people, they just get lost in the crowd because when it comes to state law, immigration status doesn't matter. We'll only talk about immigration. If they're over 21, then maybe we can do something else, but not just a U visa. There's a lot of other visas, a lot of other opportunities. If whoever they think killed her is an American citizen or a green card holder, you can always do our Violence Against Women Act. I think there's a lot of hope on this case for the children, but more than that, we need to find out not that eye for an eye for revenge, but I really don't think people should take advantage of gullible, vulnerable women like that. It's not fair. Life is too good, and
Yeah,
America is too great for it.
yeah, that's true. And thank you so much, Miss Wong, for answering this question. And I am so sorry to hear this because we saw that in the news that the person was missing, but I didn't know that the outcome was that she was found dead. So my condolences to the family. It's a Honduran family, and I hope that they can find a way to get over this very sensitive loss in
Mhm.
their lives. So if you need more information or you need to ask a question to Ms. Wong, the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. So this person renewed the asylum work permit. My license is expiring in December. What will happen if I don't get the
Okay,
renewal
there's
on
a
time?
I don't mean to cut you off. There is an automatic extent. Sorry, it's per my phone. But there's an automatic extension of 1 year. Go to the, if not, call my office. We'll email you. But go to the internet. There's a USCIS.gov. Just say automatic 1 year extension. You get the 2 page. You print it out. It's a 540-day extension. So you take your you should do it now. It's already November. I would go now because sometimes it takes some 30 days. Take your old driver's license, the 504, because some driver's license they don't know, even though it's on the web. Take the 540-day piece of paper from your web, bring the receipt notice of the 76 for the work permit 765 extension and bring your old extension paper, the work permit. So bring the work permit, the 540 days, a receipt notice, and a driver's license. 4 things. Go to a driver's license in your local area and ask for the automatic 1 year. You still have to pay for the 1 year. If they don't give it to you, don't even bother calling. lawyers or driver's license. Just go to another one because sometimes people are just stupid. And this is a new law that started by Biden only about 3-4 months ago. So some people don't know, but by now most people know, because workers permit is taking so long. You will get it. If not, talk to your lawyer and see. But that by then you already have 1 year, so you should get it as long as the case is not dismissed or terminated.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. The person that asked the question is saying that the children of the person who was murdered are over 21.
Okay. Yes. So do the U visa, but maybe just call me. I won't charge you, but let me see what I can do for them. That's okay because I don't know why if they don't have a father, they didn't do dependency action, and what was the mother doing? I always tell my clients, think of a Netflix movie, an Amazon movie, think of even The Crown, the show, just think of The Good Wife, Good Fight. Think of some of these TV shows. You don't win every time, but that's what lawyers do. It's not just immigration law. Oh, they take some money, they fill out some forms. Sometimes you just have to think about the big mystery and combine, read your newspaper every day, read a book every week or every month, and combine all your knowledge and figure out and solve a crime maybe or something. Just think of a movie and you're developing your own story now. I know you're grieving, but sometimes you have people like us, we have to be strong. We don't have the family support of generations of Americans living here. We don't have that support. We're very lonely. We don't know the legal system. We don't speak English. We're scared. And we keep thinking, oh, if I marry an American citizen, oh, if I meet someone, but you can't. You have to depend on yourself. And this, people don't get murdered in America every day. There's something wrong in this case. I would even go to the crime scene, take some pictures, think about it. When was she? You're the children. You could do it on good friends, stuff like that. Because you can't just depend on police.
Yeah, that's true. And thank you so much again, Ms. Wong, for answering all of these questions that we're receiving from our audience. So, if you need more information, you can find the office that is closer to your location. You can make your appointment calling the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. There is a question here. I guess you must know about that term is how long does it take to get a result after filing APIAL, APIAL or
Oh,
APIAL?
it could be an appeal,
Oh, appeal.
APEAL.
Yeah,
Okay, so there are
that's
different. There are two places you file appeal. If you lose the case in court, which is the IJ, you appeal to the BIA. BIA right now is taking anywhere between 9 months to 2.5 years. It also depends on if you ask for a three-judge panel or one-judge panel. There's another place that you also file appeals on I-130 appeals. It goes to BIA, but another place you go to is AAU appeals unit, AAO, AAU. That may take longer because all waiver like 601. I normally don't do 601A appeal. I don't think you can do it. I think 601 appeals, it would take 2.5, 3 years now, but that's AAU. So you also have to look at it. BIA, you have no 60-day extension. So if you lose it in front of the judge, you have 30 days to respond. Um, you have to 30 days to file the appeal. I normally like to get out in 25 days because I want to get my clients more time. AAU, you may have a 60-day virus extension. So you go on the internet and check the days where you filed the appeal. Sometimes immigration will send you both the denial and the appeals form, but most appeals is under 290B. So you can, if they don't send it to you, you can go on the internet, but make sure you file the right form, because if you lose the case in court, the form is not the 290B. 290B applies to all motions to reopen and an appeal. So you pay the fee, and then the fee, it goes back to immigration. Immigration will sometimes look at the case again. It take about 9 or 10 months, and then if they don't agree with the appeal, they will send it to the appeals unit, and then it goes another 2.5 years. So it depends on, because sometimes I don't believe in appeals. I much prefer file a new case because it's faster, it's cleaner, and that give you a second chance for interview.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. There's over 60 people working for you once you start working with the attorney Margaret W. Wong in the city of Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, Raleigh, North Carolina, and New York. And the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Ms. Wong, do we have any updates regarding to the Honduran TPS?
No updates, but I presume it will be approved. It will be, because anytime you have TPS, they normally don't take it away. Honduras, El Salvador should extend. Hong Kong will extend. Venezuela will extend.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And we have another interesting question here. This person says, I am Russian. I am in the United States and I came right before the war started. Right now, I have an overstay in the United States. But my question is because I don't agree to what the President Vladimir Putin is doing, would that be a
Asylum.
reason to file asylum? Thank you.
Okay, that's a very good question. That's the problem. When I came to America in 69, 68, we normally come, we're students, we wait till we graduate, we get OPT. But since then, especially after 911, the laws have never changed. So really things are very different now. My understanding from this question is he actually came on a tourist visa, was legal. So the normal route is for normal people, for people like us, is normally to do one extension or two extension, figure out what you want to do. If you want to go back and come back, or go back and don't come back, because tourist visa's purpose is to, just a tour, or change it to a student visa. So you go to school here and get your bachelor's, master, or PhD, or JD, or MD. But then, and also that's what Biden is talking about. Biden is talking about if you have STEM like science, math, you can get O visa. Everything will be easier because America also is welcoming. But because the Senate and the Congress couldn't agree to any major law changes, so Biden is using his executive power. But coming to this question, it depends because there are five reasons. Number one, you are within 1 year because it seemed like you didn't do an extension, so you're probably here 7 or 8 months. Number one, asylum has to be filed within a year. Number two, there's only five grounds. You have nationality, race, religious opinion, member of a special group, and political opinion. So I presume you're talking about member of a special group or political opinion. But political opinion means that I express an opinion. And your question is, I don't agree. So how did you express you don't agree? Just because you don't mean, there's a lot of things I don't agree with my parents, with America, doesn't mean I could do asylum in China. But it's how you express your political belief resulting in the fear of harm. There's three ways to express fear of harm. You have fear of past harm. So something bad happened to me. I already had a tourist visa, so I left, and so I left right away. Then the question is if this is my second time coming to America, or the first time or third time coming to America, I have to explain you had this visa 3 years ago. Why didn't you come? Or why did you come last time and left? Last time and left, and why now? What's the escalation of fear? There's a lot of laws on this, and is the was this fear, because the fear is objective and subjective. So you really have to read it and understand it. So that's the first thing. If you have future fear, it's a automatic, not automatic, but it's assumption that you will have future fear. But if you couldn't prove past fear because you said I came did he come right before or right after the war?
Right before.
Right.
This
So the
person says
war,
that he came
that's right,
before,
right before,
and
and
it
then
started like
right
2 weeks
after.
later.
So if the war never started, what propels you? So you have a future fear, right? Because you didn't have a past fear because you came before. You didn't know the war. You knew the war. You have some inside information. You didn't agree with it. But assuming you don't, and you have a future fear, I couldn't go back because there was a war. So how does it affect you? Objective, subjective fear. So now, because if you cannot prove past fear, and as long as you file within 1 year, now you say I could not go back because they already jailed my parents. They already There's a well-founded fear of future fear that you could not go back. Then, if I cannot prove that, you can prove also pattern and practice. China, they persecute all Uyghurs. They persecute all minority race because China, we are Han people. So Han people, we don't like any North Koreans who got stuck in China before the split, because Korea split in 51, 53. There's a lot of Korean people who are stuck in China because of the war and stuff. So is that pattern and practice? So that's another thing. Is I don't even need specific incidents of harm I didn't report to police as a pattern that they would discriminate me. So these are the asylum. So asylum law is weird. It's not as easy as you think, but it's also a good law because after 2020, no, year 2000, there's really no, like, someone who came on a tourist visa became out of status aside from asylum. There's really no other hope. And that's why the prominence of asylum, that's why I personally believe that, and I love asylum law, that there is a really ripe litigation field. But on the other hand, I'm old. So I'm trying to really push these lawyers and myself to maybe open up more asylum laws on that, because the old law is gone, because one child policy from China, that's gone. The cult belief in Japan, that's gone because the whole world now is all Google. But I think asylum law is ripe for litigation. There's a lot of litigation going on. So, and you need to really study. We don't need to be a lawyer to study. Just go on Google, go on the web. There's also a USCIS, because these are all new stuff, because they changed it. It used to be the policy memo. It used to be adjudicator's memo.
Yeah.
It has changed through the years. And read that policy memo, read the court menu, because a lot of times, our lawyers or me, I'll say, according to the USCIS policy menu, blah, 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 legacy INS, but they'll look at me like, Margaret, what are you doing? But, you have no facts to go on the law. If you have no law and no facts to go on something creative, But I love,
Okay,
that's a very good question, political opinion, right?
that's also what they call the formalities of the law
Right.
sometimes, and it's a bit annoying that maybe you can file a petition or a lawsuit or whatever document in front of immigration court, and I understand, and it's fair that if you do something that you should not do according to the law, your case be denied. But if it's just because you put Mrs. and not Mr., and they just reject your
Right.
petition, that's just a formality. So you are sacrificing the whole process just for one formality. So, but it happens in every country that you can go, and you cannot be mad at the attorney. The attorney is a human being, and they can make mistakes. Of course, we pay an attorney so that they don't do mistakes, but they are still human. So the good thing about the office with the attorney Margaret W. Wong is that they have filters, which is uh, the legal assistant, paralegal, head paralegal, attorneys, head attorneys, and the big boss. That's what some of the guys call you in the office. The big boss is coming today. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for having us today. We have a last quick question. Any news on work authorization for U visa? It still remains the same.
Remains the same. Make sure you file C14. A lot of cases that were filed in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. We didn't file C14 because C14 is like under Trump, is never approved. If so, it's only for 1 year. Who cares? And most of them may have asylum where permanent is good for 2 years. The 10-year cancellation, non-LPR cancellation is good for 1 year. So most of them didn't file. So you need to check your U visa. If you didn't file the C14, which is $410, file it now. Biden just came up with about 3 months ago with new law saying that now they're granting C14 with a bona fideness letter for more than for 4 years. So it's not even 1 or 2 years; it's 4 years now. Even under Obama, it's 1 or 2. Trump 0. Now it's 4. So make sure you file that. But it's good. It's good.
Thank you so much, Ms.
No
Wong.
problem.
Don't forget that we're going to be here on the show in Spanish and English next Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Thursday 12:30 to 1 p.m. So don't forget to get to join us to send your questions to our show. And please, if you need more advice, just call the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And let me tell you a secret. There is always candies in the office. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, Ms. Wong.
Thank you.
216-279-3984, 216-279-3984.